probably missing the most important parts of the Epstein files, the parts that affect us all. Most people are focusing on the most diabolical parts of the latest drop, the ones about sex trafficking, human sacrifice, and cannibalism. And that's fair, because it's so depraved, it's hard to think about anything else. But you have to understand that people just like Epstein are not just psychos practicing deviancy in secret. They are the architects of the real-world systems of finance and government that we all submit to every day. An important Epstein email discusses a financial instrument called forward freight agreements, or FFAs, which he describes as the way the Jew make money in contrast to the goyim, a Hebrew word that basically means stupid human livestock. So let's unpack this. For most of history, shipping meant ships crossing oceans, an inherently risky business. That was the game. But then international finance showed up with these FFAs. These are derivative contracts that let you bet on future shipping rates for specific routes, without owning a ship or moving cargo or even going near the ocean. You don't transport anything. You simply speculate on the price of transport. So if you're a trader sitting in New York or London, you don't care if a vessel gets stuck in a canal or a crew misses Christmas delivery. You can short freight rates, hedge volatility, flip positions, and walk away clean. Meanwhile, the ship owner eats the loss. The crew still sails, fuel still burns. The goyim do all the work. They deal in the real world, as Epstein explained. This is what financialization actually looks like. Risk doesn't disappear. It just gets shifted and turned into something that can be gambled on. The industry used to reject this stuff, but over time, the paper market grew until the futures market became bigger than the physical shipping market itself. Think about that. More money betting on the idea of moving goods than actually moving them. That's how almost the entire economy works now. This speculation on value in the real economy by traders, who not only make fortunes off markets but manipulate those same markets, is nothing new. In the 1800s, it was widely criticized, such as in the 1880s German book, Jewish Business Practices. In it, George Ratzinger explains, this Jewish style of work is characterized by two uniquely Jewish phenomena. One, it avoids any productive activity, instead seeking financial gain through the exploitation of the labor of others. And two, it pursues financial gain through the manipulation of and speculation on prices. So what Epstein was describing here is not some brilliant type of financial machination he came up with. And he didn't say this is the way I make money. He said this is the way the Jew make money, as though it is standard in their community. He is boasting that it is Jewish financiers who monetize risk and rig the game in their favor to rake in trillions, while letting the real working economy, the goyim, not only absorb the damage, but pay for it all.
Welcome to the J.J. Carrell Show. If that doesn't piss you off, I don't know what does. The Epstein files, we call it that, is going to grow another 3 million. And what is going to be presented to us or revealed to us is going to be shocking, even more so than now. And then as you're reading the 6 million emails, videos, photos, understand that equal to that amount will never be disclosed to us. That our government is that corrupt. And they have so many powerful people manipulated in the Epstein, Israel, America, CIA, Mossad, MI6, honey traps. This has so many different faces to this evil. The overarching of what's making everyone mad, and rightfully so, is the sexual trafficking of children, the torture, the rape, the adrenochrome, and ultimately the sacrifice of children. And it is now, without argument, without our country is neck deep in pedophilia and satanic worship. I'm going to play in the second half of my show the Bad Bunny halftime of the Super Bowl. if you still refuse to see the truth, if you still refuse to acknowledge that this is no longer a government problem, meaning a left versus right, there is no Democrat Republican. They are in bed together. They are 100% lockstep. This is a good versus evil, a God versus Satan. If you don't watch the halftime show and come away thinking that we are in the midst, like in the middle, drowning in evil, I really don't know what to tell you anymore. If I sound reserved tonight, I'm not. If I sound less volatile, I'm not. I am raging, but I am a realist at the same time. And I'm telling you that I see no way out of this except a revolution. And I don't want it because I know what it's going to look like. I know the level of violence that it will come to. Why do you think that we had a financial meltdown in 2008? Epstein was in the middle of it. How does it make you feel for the Jewish bankers to call us the descriptive term of a goyim? Livestock, less than, subhuman, and that the Jews don't work the way that the stupid goyim do. The Jews let the goyim do all the hard labor because they're like mules anyway, and we will deal in the peripheral. We'll deal with paper and computers. We'll never get our hands dirty. We'll never have to lift weights. We'll never have calluses on our hands. We will be in the positions of authority and power in every sector of the economy, every sector of culture and society and government. I've said, and I know you've heard me say this many times on my show, and it's something I completely believe in. Just shut up for a little bit of time and listen to what they say. And sit there with their words in your mind from hearing it from their mouths and watch their actions and then respond accordingly. The Jewish woman that called me after having spoken to her for a year and a half and chastising me about how I'm wrong. The Christian Zionists, all the evangelical nut jobs that come out, including some extended family, saying to me, those are God's chosen people. You can't say a damn thing about them. It's amazing to me that those people are, and I'm talking Jews and Christian Zionists, are mad at people like me for just playing videos of them talking about us. It's like somebody stealing something from your house. I come over, try to stop them, get the description of them, and say, this is the people that stole your TV and your furniture, and you're mad at me. I know the video, your Ring camera shows them. I'm just saying, yeah, I'm a witness to it. I'm just stating the fact that happened. They did this. They uttered these words as they left. And I become the problem. How in the hell am I the problem? I didn't call all the Gentiles goyim. I didn't say that Jews need to stay out of all of the labor issues and allow all the stupid Gentile goyim to do it, and we'll just work above them because we're smarter than them. I didn't say that the Jews have been kicked out of 109 different nations, and never, ever one of those eradications of the Jews was the Jews' fault. That is a summary of what the Hebrew hammer, Congressman Randy Fine, said. Not my words, theirs. Another thing I'll tell you, a Jew told me, a prominent, very educated, very, very accomplished, said to you, this is almost a quote. Do you know how hard it is to be God's chosen people? To try to be perfect all the time? That's almost verbatim. I just sat there with my phone just like, I can't believe I'm hearing this. You can get mad at me, but you're just mad at the messenger. That's the one thing I love about what I do on this show is, yeah, there's a lot of hard opinion from me because of my experience and my knowledge and my research. Yes, and everything I say I own. And if I make a mistake, I'll say it. But one of the things that I really enjoy about my show is I don't really say that. I allow the people that I'm discussing say it for me. It's not my words, it's theirs. You want to listen to politicians that are corrupt, and you're going to blame me because I say I'm blackpilling? No, I just played for you what the congressmen are saying about their own institution. You say that I'm crazy because I called the election a fraud back in 2020 when it happened? No, I'm playing all of the people that are actually acknowledging that there was massive voter fraud. Why am I the guy that gets demonized? White populations are completely obliterated. We're at 55% of the population. We're at 90% less than 50 years ago. And I'm a racist. I'm a X, Y, and Z. I'm an X, Y, and Z. And I'm the one that is just a messenger. I didn't come up with that statistics. I don't have a polling house. I don't have people working for me that are crunching numbers. I'm just telling you what the census says. And now I have to listen to somebody that says is dead. And I'll be very quiet. I'll be very upfront. I don't know if he's dead, Epstein. I listened to an incredible take by Clayton Morris of Redacted. And he has evidence. Let me put it this way. Would this shock you if tomorrow we discovered that Epstein wasn't dead, that was a body double, they murdered killed some innocent or some schlep there in the prison, or they faked that death, whatever? Would you be, honestly, we would be surprised? I know we'd all be surprised, but would you be shocked? Would you go, that's absurd? Or would you say, yeah, of course. Of course. Of course. Today I watched a lot of videos. Some videos that are like over 2 years old, and some just happened today of people that I respect. And they're making a valid point that we're living in a simulation. Some people like to say a matrix. We're living in a lie. I've said this when I've given speeches, and people, if somebody pushes back on me about this topic, I quickly say, name me one institution that you have 100% trust in. I'll even lower the bar. Name me an institution that you trust 50% of the time, which that means no, that you're never trusting, but 50% of the time. And I say, go on. I'm going to give you 10 seconds. Hell, I'll give you 30 seconds. Go ahead. In fact, I'll start naming them. You just nod if you agree 100%. Education, finance, government, religion, healthcare, law enforcement, intel agencies. No, I don't trust any of them 50%. Do you trust any of them 25%? I don't trust any of them any of the time. And as we are waiting for the other 3 million emails to fall, where we're finding out that Jeffrey Epstein and Bill Gates were doing planning for pandemics to get the World Health Organization involved. That we're seeing that in the midst of the meltdown in 2008, Jeffrey Epstein was on the phone with Bear Stearns and JP Morgan all at once, making decisions on derivatives. I remember 2008 very, very well. And prior to 2008, I was in the Border Patrol. My wife had a good job and we were making money. We were living a good life, not exorbitant, but we had money every month. We had excess, not tons of excess, but excess. Like we were comfortable. And then somewhere in that first term of Obama, right before the 2008 crash, I remember looking at my balance, my checkbook, what I call my balance sheet, and I was in the red. And if you've never seen or heard me talk or watched my show before, my wife and I are not, we're not frugal, and we're not spendthrifts, we're not misers. We're just very simple. And I don't think simple is a bad term. We're just very simple. We like simple things. We don't need to go 5-star hotel. We've all been through. My wife's been through that on her and in her career, and me as well. 5-star hotels, traveling, been across the world, blah blah blah. We would rather just go to the beach and just sit there all day and read a book, or take my son to the skate park and catch some rays out there and get some sunshine. We like to go for a nice dinner. We have a nice house, cars, but we're not trading cars in every year. We just pay them off and drive them. They're a vehicle. But I remember in 2008, I remember before the housing crisis, I remember thinking, dear God, something's happening. How am I in the red? I'm buying the same damn thing. My mortgage is the same damn. Oh my God, my insurance is going up. Oh dear God, the cost of groceries, gas is exploding. My property taxes are rising. And I remember thinking, what in God's name is happening? Then the housing crisis. And no one knew what was going on. I just knew on my house in Southern California, on my street, that 17 out of the 23 houses were foreclosed. High-end, gorgeous, ocean view homes going down the toilet. And now we're learning Jeffrey Epstein was of course, in the middle of it. And who suffered? Do you think the bankers suffered? Do you think Jeffrey Epstein and his Jewish friends, do you think they suffered? Or did the stupid goyim, to include myself, do you think that we suffered? I watched my friends foreclose on their homes. I refused. To my detriment, I refused. My name's on that mortgage. I don't care if the whole world conspired and destroyed my mortgage and everyone else's mortgage. My name was on it. I'm going to eat this. I'm going to own my life. As I tell my son, there are things that are going to happen to you that you have zero control over, but they're going to happen to you nonetheless. And you can sit there and bitch about it, and you have the right to bitch about it. You have the right to be pissed off, but you better own it. And instead of being mad at everyone else, which I was, then I need to look inside and say, well, what can I do to make sure this never, ever happens to me again? There needs to be a massive purge of our country. Have you ever thought about Germany, for example? The number one thing that they did to bring them into the first world status and be in the economic powerhouse, they got rid of usury, interest. See, we've been so conditioned to think that this has always been, that we've always used money as a commodity, a machine to gain, to increase wealth. What if I told you tomorrow you're going to have no interest on your car notes? You're going to have no interest on your mortgage. So let's say between your cars and your mortgage is $2,500 a month in interest. If you bought a house today at 6%, 6.5%, and you kept your house for 30 years, $500,000 house, you're probably going to end up paying 1.25, 1.3 million for that house. That means you're going to pay interest of over $700,000 to $800,000 on a house that just cost $500,000. Do you think that's okay? What if I told you today, right before you go to sleep, tomorrow morning when you wake up, you're going to be saving $2,500 to $3,000 a month on all the interest that you pay monthly, house, cars, etc. Do you think that it would benefit your life? Do you think that our country would snap back like the Germans did before World War II? Do you? I do. I do. The belief that everything that is happening today has always been that way is a lie. Our country has never been like this before. Our country has been sold out for the last 100 years. 120 probably. I don't, I'll be honest, I don't even know what. I have a whole lineup of stuff to show you, but I'm not distraught. I'm not hopeless. I'm not uh, I'm not desperate. I'm not overwhelmed. I just see things very clearly. And you may not agree with me right now, and I understand. You may never agree with anything that I'm saying, and I understand that too. I understand that I'm different. I get that. And I'm not for everybody, and I get that also. I understand. But I see things the way that I see them. And I like to course correct. I like to means test everything that I believe, and I do that every single day. I'm just telling you, I know that this Jeffrey Epstein is all encompassing because the people in positions of authority and power are in bed with Epstein, and those people are far and wide through every segment of our society. And the fact that my president mocked us and said this was a hoax. 3 million, 6 million emails is not a hoax, Mr. President. So, as somebody that is your supporter, someone that has fought for you for over a decade now, and somebody that was former law enforcement, and somebody that does this for a living, critically think, the truth, the real truth, is I question you right now. I question you. Do I know the right questions to ask? I don't know, but I question your motives. And that's disconcerting to me. Do I believe that you lived in that pedophilia world? No. But critically, I'm thinking you're covering for someone, because that's an asinine thing to say, that it's a hoax. You ran your campaign on it. This wasn't a side issue. This was a main issue. And I think you need to respond to this. And no one's asking you to respond to it. I'm going to show you this guy. God. A Democrat. I'm going to put him up on the screen. This guy's name, Senator Ron Wyden. He looks like a wonderful human being, of Oregon, a Democrat of Oregon. So you know he and I don't see anything close eye to eye. But listen to him talk about Jeffrey Epstein and our Treasury.
Last year, the Biden administration allowed our investigators to look at portions of the file. We did that at the Treasury building. Here is what it says. Treasury's Epstein file details, Mr. President, 4,725 wire transfers. Let me repeat that. 4,725 wire transfers, adding up to nearly $1.1 billion flowing in and out of just one of Mr. Epstein's bank accounts. If you ask me, that is more than 4,000 potential lines of investigation right there. Hundreds of millions more flowed through other accounts. That's even a lot more to investigate. The file shows that Mr. Epstein used multiple Russian banks, which are now under sanctions, to process payments related to sex trafficking.
Over 4,000 wire transfers. And no one says a damn thing. Oh, it's okay. Really, what's the problem here? Well, the problem is that everyone is in bed. And I mean everyone. I mean everyone is in bed with Jeffrey Epstein. Let's stop for a second and say you are the business. You are. And your business has over 4,100 wire transfers to Russian banks and Russian oligarchs and all over the world in the tune of hundreds of billions of dollars. Do you think that you're not going to be called in or questioned? But not Jeffrey Epstein. I'm going to try. I want you to listen this next one. And I think it's important to listen to his voice, because his voice, even if you didn't know anything about Jeffrey Epstein, and I didn't even tell you that this is Jeffrey Epstein talking, you would say that guy's a weasel, whoever that guy is. Whiny, nasally, narcissistic, elitist. This is Jeffrey Epstein during his time as work release in Palm Beach. This is after he was convicted of being a pedophile. JP Morgan daily, he's speaking to private bankers at JP Morgan. And I want you to listen to this. Everyone is incestuous. Everyone is in on this. All of the goyim paid the price.
While convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein was on work release in Palm Beach, a federal lawsuit claims his private banker at JP Morgan, Jess Staley, kept in contact, visiting Epstein's Palm Beach mansion and his Virgin Islands private island many times, even while Epstein was jailed. According to newly unredacted documents in a federal lawsuit against JP Morgan, the Virgin Islands government says, between 2008 and 2012, Staley exchanged approximately 1,200 emails with Epstein from his JP Morgan email account. These communications show a close personal relationship and profound friendship between the two men, and even suggest that Staley may have been involved in Epstein's sex trafficking operation. In July 2010, Staley sent a message to Epstein that allegedly read, "Maybe they're tracking you. That was fun. Say hi to Snow White." Epstein replied, "What character would you like next?" Staley replied, "Beauty and the Beast." Epstein, "Well, one side is available." In another exchange, the plaintiffs alleged Staley was apparently on Epstein's island, writing, "Presently, I'm in the hot tub with a glass of white wine. This is an amazing place, truly amazing. Next time, we're here together. I owe you much, and I deeply appreciate our friendship. I have few so profound."
I have so few. You stupid, stupid goyim. You worthless goyim. Here's another Democrat that I share nothing in common with. This would be the representative from California, Garcia, who is an illegal alien from Peru. His family overstayed and somehow he got, I don't know what the hell he got, but he got to stay. But even he's going to tell you about Epstein from a Democrat lens. And as he's speaking, I want you to think about what we just watched with JP Morgan and what we watched with Senator Ron Wyden. And I want to remind you as you watch this, not one single person has been arrested.
Is it true that you've received access to Jeffrey Epstein's financial records from JP Morgan Chase and Deutsche Bank and plan to release that?
So we just received some documents from those banks. There is a request that the Oversight Committee made to get financial documents from Deutsche Bank, from JP Morgan. In fact, there's another 20 banks that we actually want information from. So we have received access to some of those documents. It's not all of them. We hope and expect to receive more documents from JP Morgan and Deutsche Bank in the weeks and months ahead. And so our team is just beginning to go through that. So of course, our hope, as always, is to release as much as we can. We received also some photos and videos from the U.S. Virgin Islands. Many of those pictures and videos we believe have never been seen before. And so whenever we get information, we're going to put it out.
You're going to put it out. Good for you. Has anybody been arrested? Is anybody going to arrest anybody? Is anybody going to do anything? This is a pressure cooker. This pressure cooker is going to explode. We all feel it. We all know it. This can't continue. Or maybe the Goyim's just so stupid. Maybe the Jews are right. Maybe we are just gutless and we're just like cattle. I don't know. I want you to listen to this whiny schmuck, Epstein, talking to Steve Bannon, which this is a whole nother topic we'll talk later about with Steve Bannon. But this is Jeffrey Epstein talking about how they screw all the average Americans, how the bankers do. This, if you don't understand fractional investing, fractional lending, they're just robbing us. The elites live in a completely different world, economically, socially, spiritually, physically than we do. They don't have laws that bind them. They're free to do whatever they want. Why? Because we let them. They get to rape, murder, torture children because we let them. You think the DOJ, you think the FBI, you think state and local don't know who this man has allowed women to be raped in the thousands by hundreds of thousands of men and women, elites, and no one's been arrested.
Understood. There's a fundamental part of money, which is called fractionalized banking. And fractionalized banking is something that finance people understand, and the people on the street, and when I say people on the street, that's where I was when I started on Wall Street, would find it impossible to believe. Impossible. Why? Bang Bank, I give you $1. Just one single dollar. In our system of banking, I would say, okay, Steve, I gave you $1. How much could you lend out to your friends? And your natural reaction would be probably something less than $1 because I want to keep something in my pocket. The way our system works is if you as a bank are holding my dollar, you can lend out an additional $8 or $9. No, it's impossible. I only have $1, Jeffrey. We have something called fractionalized reserves, which is if you have 1, you can lend out 9. That's the way our system works. And so not only do world leaders not understand banking, but the man on the street, my father who worked in the park department, it would be beyond his imagination that people could lend out more money than they actually had in their pocket. Next question.
Next question. Next question. Are we really 38, 40 trillion in debt? The answer is no. Should you be struggling month to month? No. Should you have a large nest egg of savings just by doing what you've been doing the last 10, 20, 30, 40 years? Absolutely. Has the political elite, the banking elite, the entertainment and news elite, have they robbed you? Have they robbed you? It's going to come a time where you're going to have to stand up like an adult and take your head out of the fucking sand and look at what's happening in this fucking world. And you're going to have to look at it and acknowledge it. You're going to have to accept the fact that you are a stupid goyim, that you are nothing but a host to parasites, and that we live in a complete and altered universe called the Matrix. And you are nothing but a bunch of worker bees for the elites. My name of my website is going underneath me, and the name to my Substack. If you want to support me in any way, that's the best way. jjcarrell.com, jjcarrell.substack.com. I ask you to support the people that support me, and you do that by going to sat123.com/JJ, sat123.com/JJ. You need to be prepared. You think all of this is just look through my lens just for a minute, just for 1 minute, and go back to your fantasy of glitter and rainbows. Do you think that this economy is going to continue? You think we're going to be able to go to, within a decade at this pace, a decade to 2 decades, we'll be at $100 trillion in debt? You think this is all going to be okay? Honestly, you think this is all going to be okay? You don't think we're going to get into another war to try to offset the imbalance in our checking out? Do you think that you're not going to have major catastrophes, man-made or not? That's how I use SAT123. That's how I look at sat123.com/JJ. Is what do I need? What do I anticipate that I'm going to need to give me time? Just go to the website. That's all. That's my only ask. Go to the website, click on it, see if you need anything. But be prepared. You're going to say, yeah, I need that. sat123.com/JJ. I don't even want to talk about this. I mean, I can't stand Jeffrey Epstein. I can't stand, I hate and I do, I hate. I know I'm not supposed to hate, but I hate. Because they're vile human beings. You want to talk about vile? You want to talk about we had the Super Bowl on Sunday. And I didn't even want to talk about this. Because it just pisses me off. This is Bad Bunny. I didn't even know who the hell this moron was. This sexual freak was before the NFL said he's going to be our Super Bowl. I went today, told my wife, we have NFL Network. That's gone. I'm not supporting this organization. And I'm going to wean myself off, because I love football. I played in college. I love watching NFL. I'm going to wean myself off it next year like a drug addict. I'm just not going to watch it. I'm going to try to go cold turkey because I'm not going to support the NFL because the NFL hates me, hates what I believe in. And before I play this video of Bad Bunny, God almighty, Joel Webon, Webbon, at Joel Webon. He's a pastor. He's brutal. I like him. He's brutal in the best sense of the word. And he said something, he wrote something and posted this video. And he said something that made me stop. Now you're trolling, you're just flipping through one X thing after another, one Facebook, one TikTok, one Instagram. I stopped because of what Joel Webon said or posted. And all he said was, we are conquered. And I stopped what I was doing. I stopped scrolling and I just sat there. And I kept reading that over and over again. We are conquered. We are conquered. Because there's no white people in the halftime show. There's foreign flags being run around the field on one of the biggest American, quote, holidays, the Super Bowl. And I sat there looking at We Are Conquered and kept telling myself, trying to convince myself that is not true. That is not true. And I kept trying to fight my beliefs. And then I ultimately just sat there and had to agree. Because when I began to really sit there and really think about, are we conquered? I'm looking at the demographics of the United States of America, 90% white 50 years ago, 55% of our population is white now. It's over. I know the birth rates. I wrote it in my book, Treason. UN data, straight from the UN, and it's conservative, 5-1. It's over. They will win. Bad Bunny did the entire halftime show in Spanish. The NFL is the Bud Light of today. They don't care about you. Bad Bunny is like a transvestite. Like, I don't even know what to call him. But he's a demon freak. I want you to watch this 27 seconds. Try to bear with me watching this.
Chile, Argentina, Uruguay, Paraguay, Bolivia, Perú, Ecuador, Brasil, Colombia, Venezuela, Guyana, Panamá, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, México, Cuba, República Dominicana, Jamaica, Haití, las Antillas, United States, Canadá, and my motherland, mi patria, Puerto Rico.
Okay, can anybody out there that's a football fan or just even a novice, can anyone tell me what that had to do? Like, that had to do with anything about football? Does anybody want to try to convince me? Come on. Anybody want to convince me? Here's more. Here's more of the halftime show. Enjoy. We are conquered. Keep telling yourself that. Repeat it. Do you see any white people? You see any Americans depicted? Let's continue.
Está escuchando música de Puerto Rico, de los barrios y los caseríos.
Okay. I need to stop it there because I got to go back, because I want you to understand this is a show that over 100 million people were watching with their families and kids. And I want you to see two homosexual men pretending to have sex with each other behind the car door. Enjoy again.
De los barrios y los caseríos. Ella viene por ahí. Ella nunca llega sola. Todos bandidos que se estén la pi. Ey, ey, que esta noche lo que haya. Perreo, baby. Sobreteo, baby. Chastrao, baby. Hasta abajo, baby. No te quitas, baby. En la disco, baby. Ey, ey, ey. Perreo, baby. Sobreteo, baby. Chastrao, baby. Todos latinos, baby. Ey, hasta abajo, baby.
What was he saying in Spanish? What was he singing in Spanish? Well, let me try to read right off a post, and I'm going to read it to you. And for anyone out there that this may be hard to read or listen to, I want you to turn the volume off. If you have kids, turn the volume off. This is the English translation of his lyrics. I'm going to go down 2 or 3 lines, or I'll start at the top. Galactic style lust, yes, so that your panties get wet. More slutty than Betty Boop. The one who got horny, mammy, was you. I stay killing with the you. Hold on here. Pussy with dick, dick with ass. Push it in. Pussy with dick, dick with ass. Yes, push it in. Pussy with dick, dick with ass. Push it in. Your tits rubbing my nipples. Push it in. This year, I don't want sluts. Push it in. They see you with a lot of jewels and they want to stay. Push it in. Let's move to verse 4. This gets even better. My dick is being chased, and I want to hide it. Grab it like a bonga. She took a pill that made her horny. She F's in the Audi, not in a Honda. If I give it to you, don't call me, because this is not made. You make love. If your boyfriend doesn't eat your ass, he better fuck off. That's the NFL. That is the NFL. NFL. I'm going to let you listen to a Spanish-speaking woman explain the lyrics that he sang on Sunday. Enjoy.
Okay, so my post about translating Bad Bunny's song so that you know what you're listening to at the Super Bowl went viral. I didn't expect that, but since we're at it, let's translate another song. This one is called Vatican, and this is a clip from that music video, so you know where that's going. He spelled Vatican with a B for some reason, but here we go. Let's start up there. Perhaps my music isn't clean, but I didn't invent sex and marijuana. A, where is the horny one? Raise your hands. A, grinding, and we go. To the Vatican, call your mom to ask for your hand. A, I was in hell when I stumbled upon a she-demon. She was selling her soul and I bought it. She was yummy, but her friend was even yummier. Let's go, the three of us. Let's go, the three of us. Yes. Where are we? I don't know. Who are you? I don't know. God forgive me because I have sinned. You are horny. I know. Let's go. I know. God forgive me. AA. I'm going to skip this paragraph because it's irrelevant. He's talking about being in the club and the club being lit. But let's go to this paragraph here. It says, everybody fornicates here. The waiter and the preacher. Hey, mommy, you're so fine. Send me a picture of the young Mika. I don't know who young Mika is. They got me overthinking. The night got kinky. And in her ass, the pinky. Her hair purple like Inky Winky.
All right, I've had enough. Thank you, ma'am, for reading that out. You want to watch the NFL? You're going to allow yourself and your family to partake in demonic activities? If you don't see the devil in all this, you're a fool. That guy has no talent. He's not some wordsmith, some Shakespearean protege. He's vile. As I interviewed Dr. Juliet Engel, who was one of the first survivors of MK Ultra sex magic, she said to me in an interview I did last year, and I'll never forget, she said, whenever you see an actor that can't act, whenever you see a singer that can't sing, whenever you see a politician that can't speak, they're MK Ultra. They've been planted. They have no talent. Think about all the actors. Think about people that we're told they're funny. They're really funny. They're great actors. And you're like, okay, they're not funny. They're not entertaining. That person can't sing. They sing about the devil. You can ignore it all you want. That's up to you. That's fine. One of my sponsors, I swear, when I get done talking about this stuff, I feel like I need to go up and lay down in my bed and just decompress. And I do it with my pillow. Got at least 15 pillows in my house on all the beds and flopped all over are all my pillow. My wife's slippers, her nightgowns, not her nightgowns, her robes, our sheets, our towels are all from my pillow. I love that product. It's made in America by Americans. Mr. Lindell is an American patriot. That makes me want to purchase his products even more. But I purchase his products because they are excellent. Go to mypillow.com, promo code JJ. Everything that I promote, I use. mypillow.com, promo code JJ. Let's continue. Unfortunately, let's continue. Dear Lord. Dear Lord. Let's listen to this man. And he just speaks sense. And my God, we need sense. We need it more now than ever.
Bad Bunny in the Super Bowl this weekend. The amount of people that are excited to listen to a guy that literally does demonic rituals in his concerts, it's wild. And the fact that so many people are hating on me because I spoke my mind about it and I said that we need a Christian artist in the Super Bowl is absolutely insane. It literally shows how broken we are as a country. This country needs Jesus. We need a Christian artist in the Super Bowl. We don't need kids and teenagers listening to that music in the Super Bowl. Wouldn't it be so much better to have an artist that glorifies God instead of pulling people away from it? Anyways, put down in the comments what you guys think.
No. We need as many vile humans as possible that hate God and hate everything we need. That's what we want. We need more of it, Commissioner Goodell. You piece of trash. Just so you're clear on who this guy is, okay? Just so you're clear. That's him. He's got breast. That's Bad Bunny. Oh, you didn't know that? You think the NFL didn't know that? You think the NFL had no idea that that's Bad Bunny? A transgender freak that's going to come on and your whole audience is English speakers. They like to drink beer, watch football, be with their families, American, Eagles, Budweiser. Nope. I want a transgender freak that's going to speak in Spanish. He's going to curse and talk about anal sex and oral sex. And yeah, that's what I want. That's what I want. Please, NFL, give me more of it. God. You can't make this up. You can't make this up. I want to show you one more, if I can find it. It's just so vile. Turning Point USA had their own halftime show. And I want you to think about what you just witnessed with Bad Bunny and all of the Latin American dancers, all in Spanish. And I want you to contrast it, compare and contrast to what Kid Rock said during the concert Turning Point USA at the same time that the Bad Bunny was on. And see if you can see just a slight difference between American values and the third world. Enjoy.
There's a book that's sitting in your house somewhere that could use some dusting off. There's a man who died for all our sins, hanging from the cross. You can give your life to Jesus, and he'll give you a second chance till you can't take it. If you got a chance, take it while you got a chance. If you got a dream.
A little different. A little different. Let's hear it again.
There's a book that's sitting in your house somewhere that could use some dusting off. There's a man who died for all our sins, hanging from the cross. You can give your life to Jesus, and he'll give you a second chance till you can't take it. If you got a chance, take it while you got a chance. If you got a dream.
What America do you want to live in? What America do you want to leave to your children? What America do you want to die for? You want to die for America of homosexual deviancy, sexual perversion, anti-American communist crap? Or do you want to die for that America? It's really that simple.